So I got up this morning and decided to go throw some paper airplanes in the backyard. Now I'm going to assign values to the distance that each one flew. The next thing we're going to do is to cut our data into quartiles. First thing, we're going to find the median, and then we're going to cut the lower half in half to find quartile 1, and cut the upper half in half to find quartile 3. The 5-number summary is the minimum, quartile 1, the median, quartile 3, and the maximum. Using these values, we can draw a box and whisker plot. And if you notice, there's 25% of the data, or 25% of the planes, in each quartile. Here's a box and whisker plot from Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest from 2002 to 2015. These are just the winner's scores. So the median right there is going to be right in the middle at 60. The range is going to be the highest minus the lowest, and the inner quartile range, or the IQR, is going to be quartile 3 subtract quartile 1. So who's crazy enough to eat this many hot dogs? Well, I just listened to a Freakonomics podcast about a better way to eat, episode 173, and it talked about a guy named Takiro Kobayashi. This guy, he now can eat way more than 49 hot dogs. He is about 128 pounds and can eat over 100 hot dogs. Here's a side-by-side box plot. Sometimes you'll see them vertically and sometimes you'll see them horizontally. But in this case, what we're doing is we're just comparing these two different box and whisker plots to each other. If you notice, there's a dot up here where that's coffee. That actually symbolizes that there is an outlier within the data. And sometimes we just take that outlier out, put a dot there, and then redo the box and whisker plot without it. Sometimes it's easy to determine if there's an outlier. You can just see from the graph. Like, take a look here. Harry Potter seems way out of the norm, as well as the Pirates of the Caribbean and then Transformers. This same data is represented in this box plot right here. And if you notice, there's dots where those outliers are. There's also some other dots too. And so where did they come from? How do you actually know if you have an outlier or if you just have a number that is slightly outside of the norm? So how do we determine if there's an actual outlier or not? So there's a formula for that. What we do is we take quartile 3, subtract quartile 1 to get your IQR, and then you multiply that by 1.5. You're going to add that to quartile 3, and you're going to subtract that from quartile 1, and that's going to create kind of like a fence. If your data is outside of the fence, then it is an actual outlier.